Hi everybody, I'm Denise and I'd like to welcome you to 32Soft's October webinar. Today's presenter is Nancy, 32Soft's very own sorcerer of operations, and we have a special guest this month too. We have Dave and Megan of Kauffman Engineering with us. So welcome to Dave and Megan, and thank you both so much for taking the time to join us today. I will hand off to Nancy in just a moment, but real quick, we just have a little bit of brief housekeeping. Please know that by default, all attendees join the session in a muted mode. Each of you should, though, see a control panel similar to what I'm displaying. And there is a section at the bottom, down here, where questions can be typed. You can type your questions in at any time, and then when we get to the Q&A, I will read the questions aloud in the order received. When the replay from today's session is available, we'll send a direct link to the replay where you will also find all of the questions and their answers. So that is it for the housekeeping. Nancy, if you are ready.
Okay. Okay, well, hello and welcome. So let's talk about sales orders. What are some of the challenges for customer service departments to enter sales orders in QAD? Well, you can't mass upload or mass update sales orders. Usually you may have some different sources of customer order data coming in, whether that's through EDI, fax, phone, email, and it's time-consuming for orders to get entered if they have multiple lines or if you have repeat orders every month with changes to dates, quantities, items. So all in all, entering orders in QAD is quite challenging. And so how does our multi-sales order data loader help? It becomes a single interface for all your sales orders. You can modify, validate, and review orders prior to uploading into QAD. And the data loader can accommodate multiple data sources. In addition, you can take a look at extra information, other information for items and customers and availability before you enter in a due date. So now your orders will become much more accurate. So why don't we jump right into the sales order itself, or the data loader itself. If you're not familiar with 32Soft data loaders, they all pretty well follow the same template. There is a header section where you have action buttons here, as well as selection criteria fields on the left-hand side that allows you to filter data if you are using the download button. The first thing you need to do is click the Setup button and select the database that you will be connecting to. And we can now take a look at multiple ways to enter in details. If you have orders coming in via, email or fax or EDI, you can certainly copy-paste, into the fields that are required here. You can also copy from existing orders. So this is where you would use the selection criteria here. So you can put in either via customer number, if you want to copy a PO number or an item, or a sales order. So there's a number of fields here. So you would just put in your selection criteria, hit the download. When you are using the data loader for the first time, a login screen will appear, and you need to enter in your QAD ID, user ID, and password, because it is validated against that and against the particular screen. So if you don't have access to 711, you won't be able to use this data loader. As you can see, it's just instantaneous to download the data based on your selection criteria. So this way you can copy, you can delete any lines that you do not want. You can certainly copy the ones that you do want, right? So let's just do that. Or you can import a file. If you get your data, your customer orders via EDI, we can work with you to configure an Excel file, a text file, and we can import that file into QAD, and I'll show you here. So if you need to clear the lines, you just hit the clear button. If you want to import a file, hit the open button, select your file, and it will import that and pre-populate certain columns. Okay, so that comes in through an import file. You can then review that data. You can add comments here. If you happen to have master references, you can do that here. You can do lookups. We have a lookup button that allows you to look up certain fields. So you can type in partial information here, hit the lookup, and it will show you the closest match from the master references in QAD. You can select the one you want, or you can just hit the red line and just to exit out of it. If you want to add in a new customer, so we have different customers here, but if you want to add in a new customer, you can certainly do that. So why don't we just get rid of these guys, and we'll put in a new customer and use the lookup button. And again, you can find your customer here. You do need to put in a ship to here. And you will then be able to fill in dates here. And put in line number. The lookup also appears for the item number. So again, you can type in partial description or item number, hit the lookup, and it will show you the closest match. You can select the one that you want. If you are using price lists in QAD, what you can do is, let's just fill in the dates. You can just put in the price list name, right? And then when we hit the validate button, you'll see that the list price will pull in. If you already have pricing from your import file, of course, that will be in the net price. This column is the one that actually goes into QAD. Okay, and then let's go over. You also have these fields here. These are actually the SO trailer fields, right? And these labels can be changed to whatever you want. But let's just put in here, FedEx. And we also have the line comment references, the master references at the line level as well. There are a number of columns here that you may or may not use. You can hide those, like these are the taxable fields, or if there's a location. There's the print, if you want to print the comments on your packing slips or invoices, again, you may or may not use those fields. You can also take a look at additional information. So if you want to have more information about the customer, you can just highlight that field, hit the action button for an address inquiry, and that's just the standard customer inquiry from QAD. It's the same for if you want to find out information about the part numbers, right? If there's availability, you can take a look at what's available. So it will just pull up the MRP details for that line, and it would give you some information on when that part is coming in, so then you can make adjustments to the due dates for the customer. And so let's hit the validate button. And when you validate it against QAD, nothing has gone into QAD at this point. It will pull in your bill to information here, the site, so it validates against all the data in QAD. It pulls in your item description, right? Indicates that it is an inventory, it is not a non-inventory part, and then it also pulls in the list price because we have put in a price list name here. So if everything is fine, then what you can do is hit the upload button, But so let's hit the upload button. And as you can see, the upload was successful, and you will see that the SO number has been created in QAD, and because it's real time, you can just take a look at that sales order. And again, this is just the standard sales order print, and you will see the sales order here. Okay. So that's the multi-SO data loader. I do want to show you another data loader that complements this one. They are sold as two separate items, but I'm going to show them to you here. And this will also help customer service in managing the mass volumes of orders that they have, in that it will help them to make quick changes to dates, quantities, pricing, without having to go into each one. So let's just take a look. Again, you have action buttons, and then you have a selection criteria here on the left-hand side. So what this does is it downloads all of your existing data orders to allow you to make modifications to it. So let's just pull in some dates here, and let's just download. So these are all of your existing sales orders here. You can certainly do it by site, item, customer PO. One of the nice features about this one is the filter for the zero price only. So if you want to know if there are any orders that were entered incorrectly into QAD with a zero price, you can just change this filter to yes, and it will pull in all of those orders with lines with zero pricing, so then customer service can make adjustments and make sure that nothing goes out the door with a zero price. This will also, you can filter it by whether there are open lines only, so then you can do some cleanup. So for this particular data loader, you can make changes to any of the dates here, and these are all highlighted in green. Those are the columns that you can make changes to. You can change pricing, right? You can add line comments if you want, and we also have a feature here that allows you to delete lines. So when you are doing cleanup, like if you're using the zero price or the open lines only, because there are certainly orders that get left into the system that need to be cleaned up, you can delete those lines. So what you would do is we do it as a two-step process, so it prevents customer service from, mass deleting lines in error. So you have to change this to yes. And then what you can do is hit the delete lines button, right? And it will just delete that line. We didn't make any changes. So if we pull this down again for this order, let's just download. Oops. There's that line has disappeared. So, and then if you just want to update lines, you can certainly make changes here. And we'll just change the date here, and we'll just update the line. And if we download again, you'll see that the date has been changed. So this makes it very, very easy for customer service to modify any of the existing sales orders, and it just saves them so much time, especially when you have to make changes to prices and there's lots of orders that you have to modify. So these two loaders complement each other, but again, they are sold separately. And that pretty well concludes the demo for the multi-SO data loader. So, what are some of the benefits? You increase the data quality in QAD because you're always validating. There is a turnaround time that you've increased in entering orders, so you're not spending all day entering orders, especially orders where there are multiple lines or if there are repeat orders. It's a very quick and efficient way to manage your changes, and as you can see, it's pretty simple to use. So thank you very much, and I'll turn this back to Denise.
Thanks so much, Nancy. That was fantastic, as always. Okay. And here we are. As mentioned at the start, we do have guest panelists with us today. We have both Dave and Megan. So before we move into Q&A, I'm hoping Dave and Megan, if you'll please share with everyone a little bit about your experiences.
Yeah, thanks. Definitely want to appreciate the opportunity to work with you guys on some of our different loaders. From our standpoint, the loaders have definitely improved our productivity, not only in customer service and entering orders, but also in our shippers, bill of material maintenance, item master maintenance. We have at least 4 different loaders, and on occasion I get back on the website and see what else is out there that can help us out. But from the sales order standpoint, what Megan has been working in customer service with, we have basically 4 customers that send us orders in an Excel type format, and those are the ones that are large volume orders. One of our customers will send us a purchase order. Everything was on a single line purchase order, and it would come in and it would literally take hours during the day to get all those entered. We worked with this customer on getting their orders sent to us in an Excel format, and now it's literally taking about 15 minutes to get everything taken care of, with a minimal amount of time actually getting the orders loaded into QAD. A lot of it is some other reports that are ran after the orders are entered. We did the same thing with one of our other customers in our Bremen, Indiana facility. They send all their orders in Excel, and we did some in-house coding to take their Excel spreadsheet and dump it into our loader, where the previous customer that I just discussed, I worked with 32Soft, and they came up with the code to open the file and format it properly and get it into the loader. So we've done kind of a little bit of both on the front end. We work with customers where we supply some large wiring harnesses to the RV industry. Those harnesses have a lot of copper in them, so as copper fluctuates, we go through and we do a quarterly copper review. So if the prices change, that's where we use the date and price changer. We have some formulas that go through and calculate how much the difference in price is. So we'll download, come at the end of the quarter, we'll download all the open orders for that customer, revise the pricing, and then load it back in. So it's a very quick, efficient process. We're sure to make sure we gather all the open orders, that we don't miss anything. And so it's been a great assistance for us, and we use it on just entering manual orders. They come in PDF attached to an email. One thing I do want to look at, and I'll continue to discuss this with 32Soft, is we continue to have customers that want us to get their information via a website, where we may have the ability to download, or we still have some customers that are using EDI. So those are some things that I want to continue looking at, but that's where we've been able to excel and make our customer service area a little bit more efficient, so that we can do some other things in our plants that require a little bit more human interaction than just keying data in. So I think that's it. Megan, you have anything you want to add to it? So look forward to any questions that you have. I'm here to be able to hopefully answer them.
Super, super. Dave, thank you so much. We appreciate your time and your insights, and certainly your experience. November, next month, will be our final webinar of 2016. I can hardly believe I'm saying that. So join us next month if you can, to learn how you can use real-time current costs from QAD to perform cost simulations for product estimates. And as you see, there is no December webinar, but we will be right back at it with work orders and routing details in January. Olena will be back to show the fastest and easiest way to create and monitor them. And then in February, we'll take a look at processing and management, and that will include the impact of component issue on availability and inventory accuracy, the pros and cons of component issue, product receipt versus work order backflash, and lots of other great stuff, of course. And our encore email, as always, and probably mentioned earlier, as soon as the replay from today's session is available, typically that is within about a week, we will follow up with our encore email. That will include a link to the replay, questions, and answers. And also, you'll always find registration links to upcoming webinars or events excuse me, at the bottom of all of our webinar communications. I'm going to take a quick look to see if we received any additional questions. And so far we have not, but again, keep them coming and we'll be sure to include them when we post the Q&A with the replay. Before we wrap with a final thought, I do want to thank everyone very much for attending today, and a special thank you to you, David and Megan, for your time and contributions as panelists. Nancy and Alex and Christian, are we good to move to wrap up?
Sure.
Yep, I think so.
Okay. Final thought. Growth creates complexity, which requires simplicity, and quite possibly by each of you is here today. So thank you again very much, everyone, for joining us, and have a fabulous day. Hopefully we will see you soon, next month.